Hey guys, so just in the studio today, and I thought I'd take a moment to show you my ergonomic setup. I'm a music producer and I've struggled with lower back pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, wrist pain. More recently, the wrist pain has been the thing that's held me back the most. But I figured out some good solutions for all of these things alongside doing a lot of stretching and exercising, and that's been helpful as well. But also, changing the way I work and changing my setup has been equally as helpful. So I'm just going to take some time to show you that today. So first of all, just a quick look at the chair. This is, I think it's called the Hague Capisco chair. Yeah, it's a kind of saddle type design. So I tend not to lean back on the backrest too much. And the idea is that your legs are not at a right angle. So the chair is like a bit higher than usual. And the sort of larger angle is supposed to be good for putting less pressure on your spine and helping you sit up straight. It's also designed not to be like overly comfortable and to keep you kind of moving around, which I tend to do a lot during the day. So this is my desk, and it's a sit-stand desk, which requires a little bit of extra cabling, and I've actually kind of attached all my hardware down here, which was a little bit of a faff, but it means now I can kind of stand whenever I want to. It's really nice if you're playing guitar or doing something where you prefer to be standing. Got my mic on an arm here within reach. So that allows me to switch between sitting and standing, which just keeps my body moving. Yeah, it really helps with the lower back pain. As soon as I start to get uncomfortable in one position, I'll move to either sitting or standing. And that usually helps me work for longer without needing to take breaks. So moving to my desk itself, as my main mouse, I use this Wacom drawing tablet, which I'll explain in more detail in a moment. I've got an Apple Magic trackpad, which is on a magnetic phone stand, so it can be at an angle, and that helps to have a more neutral position with my wrist whenever I choose to use that. Same with using the pen. Instead of like having your wrist constantly like this with a normal mouse or trackpad, you're in more of a neutral, relaxed position. I've got my keyboard for shortcuts and everything, and I sometimes use this when I'm playing an instrument and I only have one hand free and it happens to be my right hand. Vertical mouse, which I did use as my sole mouse for a while, but it really wasn't helping my wrist to heal in the way that I would have liked. So that mouse is wireless as well, so if I need to be somewhere else in the studio, like over by the piano, I can use that wireless mouse, and I have a wireless keyboard too. And the screen also pulls out, so I can see it from the piano if I need to. So in terms of the tablet, it works kind of like a touch screen. When I move my hand, the mouse is also moving. All I need to do is hover above, and to click, you just tap. Yeah, so one more thing, I've got 3 shortcut buttons on this pen as well. Don't know if you can see that well. I've got one set up to delete, I've got one set up to right click, and one is set up to split tracks in Ableton. So when I'm doing large amounts of editing with audio, like vocals, trying to like split little bits up and delete silences and stuff, that helps me do that a lot faster. You've also got 2 dials and 4 buttons, and I've got those assigned to shortcuts in Ableton. For example, if I click this button here, it makes that side tab disappear. If I click this bottom one here, it opens up the device view. I've got shortcuts on there for fade as well, and that just means I don't have to press 3 buttons for one shortcut. I can just press one, so that saves a little bit of time. In terms of the trackpad, it's a little bit more annoying to get it to work with Windows, unfortunately. So I use this third-party software called Magic Trackpad Utilities, and that allows you to access the kind of full or almost full functionality of the trackpad. So I can do a 3-finger drag, where I'm just dragging things around just by tapping 3 fingers. I can scroll, and do most of the usual things that these trackpads can do with Apple. They don't work as smoothly, but it's the best solution I found. So in terms of, switching between these two, sometimes I'll use this for scrolling or dragging things when my left hand is busy or doing something else. Or sometimes I'll just switch when I feel my left hand's getting a little bit tired, just to kind of, switch things up a little bit, give my other hand a rest. In terms of the trackpad itself, I used to have a large one. This is the medium size, the Interest Pro, I think it's called, the new one. The large one was good, but with this one, I don't have to move my hand as much to get from one side of the screen to the other. So it's actually faster and less effort to use. Slightly less accurate with very small tasks, but accurate enough. Yeah, so at first I was worried that I would be a bit slow using the drawing pad, but it actually only took me a couple of weeks to get pretty fast with it, and been using it for about nearly 6 months now, and it's been the most helpful thing for healing my wrist. First of all, because I switched hands, so I'm actually left-handed, so it's works perfectly for me to use it with my left. But obviously you can just switch this whole setup around if you're right-handed. I also have this wrist brace that I use on the wrist that's usually causes me the most bother. That just helps again with managing the pain. As soon as I take this off, I feel it gets painful much quicker. So definitely get yourself something like this, just a little Velcro strap. If you're experiencing wrist pain, it helps a lot. So I think the number one thing is just having lots of different options as well, so that you're not doing a repetitive task over and over again in one way. So I could do, because I switch between the mouse, the trackpad, and the drawing pad, I'm doing lots of different movements. There's less repetition, and I can switch between my left and my right hand for different tasks. And I think that's really helpful in general. So I think that's it for today. I'll try to put as many links as possible to the equipment that I use in case you want to try this setup out. If you find this video helpful, do click the like and subscribe buttons and drop me a comment if you have any questions about the setup. I'm happy to answer things. See you next time.